Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody's having a good day out there today, and time for the day 2 report from the Bassmaster Open here on Smith Lake. I'm just going to give you guys the how the day went and everything. But first of all, before we get started, guys, I just want to give you guys a big thanks for following me this week at the tournament during practice, and the tournament had a lot of engagement, and I really appreciate that you guys are taking interest in the tournament here, and I'll do everything I can to break this down to maybe help you guys learn something from this tournament, what I learned, maybe help you catch some more fish down the road. So anyway, if you didn't see yesterday, I had a little over 7 pounds yesterday, which was a decent day, and I was about a pound and a half out of the cut, the top of the money cut, which is a pretty good position. Anytime you're within a couple pounds, you're doing okay. And I lost I only had 4 fish yesterday, and I lost 3. And if I would have caught my 5th one, I probably would have been sitting in about 15th or 20th place. So I was pretty confident with the area that I was fishing and what I was doing. And if you saw the video I did in practice, I found the last day of practice, I found this area of the lake, about a 2 or 3 mile section of the lake, and started getting some bites in it. And basically I was just junk fishing in there. I was catching a few on a top water, I was catching a few on a fluke, I was catching some on a wacky rig, catching some on a shaky head, just junk fishing, points, coves, typical fall fishing, just scrounging, October tough fishing. And so I had 7 keeper bites yesterday. So today we had a completely different weather change. We had a high pressure system come in, bluebird skies, not a puff of wind. I mean, it was completely calm, extremely bright all day long. So I knew it was going to be tough today. So my plan was I was going to try to take advantage of a morning bite, to try to get something going early, to maybe get a kicker or something. So I spent the first couple hours this morning running some new water close to the area I was fishing with the top water. Didn't get any bites. And we had a little bit of fog this morning, and I could tell that I could just tell they weren't going to bite the top water. It was really still, it was really quiet. You just had that feel those fish did not want to chase and come up on a bait. So I made the decision. I said, okay, at this point, I fished for a couple hours, I haven't had a bite. I need to get some, I need to get some keepers in the boat. I need to just, try to get 2 or 3 keepers in the boat, because if I caught a limit, I knew that I'd probably make a check. So I went to the shaky head and started fishing the shaky head. I lost 1 fish that I think was a keeper. It pulled off, felt like a pretty good fish. And I spent the next 2 or 3 hours doing a lot of shaky heading. I mixed it up a little bit with the fluke, ran some of the other water that I had caught them in yesterday, nothing. So here it is, it's after 12 o'clock and I still don't have a fish in the boat. So it's like, at this point, you start really considering your options. What are your options for the day? I had a short weigh-in time. I had to weigh in early. So I told myself, it's like, okay, if you're going to make a comeback with 2 hours left to fish, or 2.5, 3 hours or whatever, you're going to have to make it a complete change. So what I did is I put on the big Megabass iSlide 185 glide bait. I knew that Oliver Nye told me yesterday that he had some big ones following the glide bait in, and I made a commitment to fish that big glide bait to try to get 2 or 3 big fish, the last couple hours, because that was going to be the only way I could make the cut or whatever in that short of time. And I knew if I could get 2 or 3 bites on that glide bait, I could be exactly where I need to be. So threw the glide bait the rest of the day and never had a bite. So make a long story short, guys, I never caught a keeper today. I zeroed after mixing it up with a lot of different things. So the point of what I want to make here is I want to come out of this tournament to try to help you guys learn something from what I did here, and so you guys don't have the same problem. I really felt that I could scratch out enough fish today, just junk fishing, to get a limit and make a check, and it just didn't happen. The thing that I'll want to leave you, or want to give you guys in this tournament what you would have done different is this tournament, the way the weather unfolded and the way the conditions were, it was completely set up for offshore fishing. I knew going into this tournament that I had to have the right weather to catch them shallow to compete. I didn't get it, and I knew that I would absolutely get my butt kicked by the live scopers if I didn't get that weather, and I did. So when you're dealing with a clearwater fishery, October, tough fishing, high pressure system, that is when you have to move offshore and target those deep fish, whether it be suspended or on the bottom. And this is, like I said, I made the commitment, guys, not to run a live scope. And I told you guys when I made that decision that I realized I'm going to get my butt kicked by not having the live scope in some tournaments. And this was one that I got my butt kicked on in by not using the live scope. But at the same token, it's like there's going to be those tournaments where those live scoper guys, you know, commit to live scoping, and I'm going to beat them shallow because the conditions will line up for that. So it goes both ways. And this was just one of those tournaments. I had to take my lumps. I knew going into this tournament that that's how the fish were going to get caught here. And I'm pretty sure just from talking to you guys, that's how a lot of them get caught. There was some oddball stuff, you know, went on yesterday with the clouds we had, but basically, you know, the guys that are going to wind up doing good in this tournament are the guys that targeted the deeper offshore fish. So, you know, I fished enough of these tournaments to know that you can't dwell on them too bad. I mean, if you have a bad one like that, I mean, that's just part of fishing. I've done this long enough. You know, I've been on both sides of the deal, and so you just sort of have to focus on the next one, you know, decide what you do different the next time. And in my situation this time, you know, as far as what I would do different in this tournament, aside from having the live scope, if I had to fish it different a little bit, I probably would have fished more finesse stuff shallow. Like, you know, I'd done more wacky rigging, or I'd put like a little small swim bait, something like that, because there were enough fish up shallow that you could catch them. But I just think they got really skittish, really finicky, you know, today. And there's a fine line. One of the things you find out about fishing, guys, there's a fine line between having a good day on the water and having a day like I do. It's just a matter of making that right adjustment at the right time, making the right move where everything clicks. And it just didn't click for me today. And that's just the way fishing goes. And that's part of paying the price in this tournament for not being a live scoper. But like I said, I don't feel bad about that, because I still don't agree with them. And like I said, I'll take my licks once in a while in the tournament by not having it. But anyway, our next tournament is a week from now at the Bassmaster Open at Grand Lakes, my home lake. That's not going to be a live scope tournament, so hopefully I can get some redemption there and you know, have a good tournament or win the tournament, you know, doing some non-live scope and stuff. So that's the report, guys. Again, much appreciated everybody following. I really do. Like I said, keep your comments coming. You know, I love reading your guys' comments. I don't get a chance. I try to respond to comments when I can, but I'm just so slammed busy that it's like I don't hardly even have time to do anything. But I do go through and read all the comments that are sent. So if you do comment on the videos, just know that I'm reading them. And you know, but between taking care of the 3 boys at home and working 3 jobs, it's hard to get any spare time to do that. So anyway, I'm headed back to Missouri right now. Get everything ready for Grand Lake next week. And I'll keep you guys updated on that. We'll do the same thing. I'll do a practice report and tournament report and everything. And you know, like I said, hopefully you guys can learn from my failure this tournament and learn from my success at the next tournament. So anyway, we'll check in later, guys. See you.